Welcome to the Hiking and Backpacking with Goose podcast. In this episode, I'll hike the Gatlinburg Trail in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Gatlinburg is one of, and probably the most famous gateway to the park. It's packed with hotels, condos, restaurants, shops, and all kinds of entertainment. It's also quite crowded during the peak summer and fall seasons. The town of Gatlinburg was established in 1856 with a post office opened in a local general store owned by Radford Gatling. That's how Gatlinburg came to be known as Gatlinburg. Prior to this, the general area was known as White Oak Flats after having been initially settled in 1806 by the Ogle family. Many of the early settlers of this area were veterans of the Revolutionary War or the War of 1812, and some were given 50-acre tracts for their war service. In the early 20th century, logging became widespread in this area, with the first sawmill being erected in Gatlinburg in 1900. Tourism also became popular in this area for the same reasons that tourists still flock here today. When the park opened in 1934, it's estimated that 40,000 tourists visited Gatlinburg. While I wasn't able to find the current number on Gatlinburg visitors in recent years, in 2023 there were more than 13 million visitors to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. There are two trailheads to the Gatlinburg Trail. One is near the Sugarlands Visitor Center and the other is on the edge of Gatlinburg. If you're planning on taking this hike, you might want to start from the Visitor Center side unless you're staying in Gatlinburg, because parking can be challenging in the Gatlinburg area due to traffic congestion. It's an easy hike with an out and back distance of 3.8 miles and an elevation gain of only 177 feet, making it one of the flattest hikes in the Smokies. On today's hike, I'll start on the trailhead that can be accessed from the Sugarlands Visitor Center. This trail runs very close to the west prong of the Little River, as well as Newfound Road. So it really isn't in the wilderness. It's more like a greenway trail in many cities. Even though this trail should be busy and is near a busy road, it's supposed to be a fairly tranquil hike in nature. Also, this trail is one of only two trails that you're allowed to take dogs on in the park. So if you have a doggy with you, take advantage of it. The trail is covered with gravel for much of the hike and is usually quite busy. I should see some small cascades and rapids on the river, as well as lots of trees and rhododendrons, and some remnants of old homesteads. At about a half a mile into my hike, I'll pass beneath the Gatlinburg Bypass, which is a 2-lane road and a great way to avoid the congestion of Gatlinburg if you're visiting from the Tennessee side of the park. Shortly after that, I'll cross a footbridge over the river and will eventually arrive in Gatlinburg. When I get there, I'll give you a halftime report. So I'm going to have a couple of cups of coffee and head to the trailhead to get started. I'll catch up with you during the halftime report. It's the halftime report on the Gatlinburg Trail. Well, that was a fast walk. This trail is very easy. When I arrived at the Sugarlands Visitor Center, it was packed, but I lucked out and found a place to park the Goosemobile quite close to the visitor center. The first half mile or so of the park is on a paved access road that has various national park buildings, houses, garages, and storage facilities for equipment. Then it turns into a very well-groomed and flat trail. I'm talking
crushed stone. It's very wide and very close to the river the entire way. At about 3/4 of a mile, I passed under the Gatlinburg bypass. Then I crossed over one of the best footbridges I've ever seen in all of the Smokies. At about the 1 mile mark, I climbed up a small hill. That was the only elevation gain. I also saw stone chimneys and other remnants of houses very, very close to the trail in this area. I continued to enjoy the view of the river, but could see and hear Newfound Road the entire time. If it hadn't been for the traffic noise, this would have been an easy nature hike. Anyway, I'm at the Gatlinburg end of the trail and sitting on a strategically placed rock while I'm recording the halftime report. I'll check in again during the wrap-up.
It's time for the wrap-up. My return hike was also very fast due to the fantastic trail conditions and the lack of any real elevation gains. I also saw lots and lots of people on the trail during the return hike. The only trail in the Smokies that I've hiked that rivals this level of activity was on Rainbow Falls Trail in Season 2, Episode 9. There were many families with small children, some in strollers, on the Gatlinburg Trail today, and tons of people with dogs. There were so many dogs that I did actually witness owners having to pull dogs away from each other to stop them from fighting. The only other trail in the park that you can take your dog on is the Oconaluftee River Trail, which is near Cherokee, North Carolina, and the Oconaluftee Visitor Center. I also saw a few children frolicking in the river under the watchful eyes of their parents today, even though it was pretty darn cool today. Kids are resilient. The total length of today's hike was 3.75 miles with a total elevation gain of only 210 feet. This is a very easy hike, which would be enjoyable for non-hikers, but probably not so much for more serious hikers, unless they were hankering for an easy hike, which I did enjoy today. The river views were great, but the constant hum of traffic was a reminder that you were not really in the wilderness. Like I said previously, think of this as sort of a nice greenway. But if you're a non-hiker and you want to brag to your friends about your hiking adventures in the Smokies, then this would technically qualify, because it is an official trail in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. If you're staying in a hotel or a condo in Gatlinburg for vacation and you're near the trail and you have your dog with you, it's also a great resource. Since the trailhead started near the Sugarlands Visitor Center, I thought you might be interested in knowing a bit more about that facility. The Visitor Center is quite busy, has been almost every time I've been there. Parking is plentiful, but the lots are often full. However, people don't tend to hang out there for long. So I've always been able to luck up on someone pulling out at the exact time that I'm looking for a spot. The facilities include real toilets, not pit toilets, a help desk manned by very knowledgeable volunteers who can help you plan your Smokies adventures, and a gift shop with lots of souvenirs and a great collection of books on hiking and fishing and everything you need to know about the Smokies. I enjoy browsing their books whenever I have a few extra minutes. It appears that there used to be an auditorium there, but once I sneaked a peek inside, and it appears they're using it as a storage facility now. While you can buy books in the store on hiking in the Smokies, like I've done in the past, they also sell a hiking map for $1 or $2. I think that there's a soda machine near the toilets, but I'm trying not to drink that junk anymore. There's a water fountain on the front of the facility where you can refill your water bottle, but during the coldest parts of winter, it will likely be turned off to prevent freezing and pipe bursts. You can also buy your parking pass either in the gift shop or via several kiosks that are located outside. There are a few benches at the visitor center, but there are no picnic tables. I've also seen wild turkeys at the visitor center on several occasions. If you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe to it and give it a good rating on the podcast platform that you use. The algorithms look for that, and it helps to expand listenership, which helps me to spread the word about this podcast. Also, please recommend it to your friends who enjoy hiking and outdoor adventures. If you like it, they'll probably like it too. Photos taken during today's hike can be found on Instagram, where my name is Gooseahikin. That's Gooseahikin. A final thought. As always, enjoying the great outdoors is most certainly enjoyable and fun. But please don't engage in strenuous physical activities that are beyond your capabilities or your physical condition. Make sure you're familiar with the wildlife you could encounter on your journey so you can be prepared. Also, make sure that you wear weather-appropriate clothing, carry an emergency medical kit, water, and a map, and always stay on the trail. And remember to go to church this weekend.